Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Son Goku Ultra Instinct figure, part of the Dragon Ball Super line of SH Figuarts Dragon Ball figures. And this is one I know many people are very excited about. There was some contention when they first showed it, saying, oh, it's not accurate at all. I don't like it. That's what most people were saying. Did it turn out as bad as most people thought? I don't think so. I think it turned out much better. There are still a few issues, of course, but I think all in all, most people will be happy. We're going to talk about all of that, though, in the review, so let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands roughly to the top of his head, about 5 inches, including the hair is closer to 6 1/4, which makes him, let's say, 13.5 to the head and closer to 16 for the hair included. Now, the original image that everybody was basing this on and some of the early prototype was this right here, or at least it lined up with this. It looked like the shoulders were really far forward, the neck was really far back, the chest was poofed out. It just looked weird. People didn't like the hair. The hair doesn't seem to have changed all that much. I don't know how, it looks accurate enough to me. Like, it's never been perfectly accurate on any of the figures, so to me that's fine. The hair looks okay, and the chest looks significantly better. It looks fine. I don't have any issues with it. There's one that's somewhat articulation related that does hinder the posability and the aesthetic a little bit, but all in all, I think it turned out as it should have. You know, this is in line with the rest of the Figuarts figures. It's actually one of the better ones, I think. I'm very pleased with the overall result that we have here. I think most people will be, but like I said, there's a little bit to talk about. Aesthetics are very clean. We have shading throughout the pants, gives them a nice kind of lit up, glowy type of look. Very dynamic, gonna look good on the shelf. They painted some light blue around the shirt part here, the tattered shirt. Looks very, very nice. Purple belt. Bluish, purplish things, whatever, it looks good. This hair is silver, not just gray, it is silver. I stuttered my S, that was a first. I think I might be a snake. This looks pretty good. The only downside that really stands out to me is for all of the scuffs that are on his bare chest and arms, some of them have noticeable coloring to them, and others seem to not have any. Like right there, I don't believe there's any in there. Or right there, or there's a little bit in there. Mostly on the shoulders it's noticeable, the abs it's noticeable. Yeah, I can fix that easily, but that's not the point. All of his scuff marks are not painted, and that's definitely a little bit irritating. But otherwise it looks pretty good. Now before we get into anything else, I know what you guys are thinking, which figures are interchangeable with this one, and I'm happy to report that you can swap the heads if you want to. As you'll see, the skin tone is a little bit different, so that is an issue, but the good news is the faceplates are swappable as well. So if you wanted to take his faceplate and just recolor the eyebrows and eyes, or just leave them if you don't care, you can do that. The faceplates are fully swappable with the hair, and the hair/head part is fully swappable on the neck. So that is good news for those of you who are interested in that. Similarly, you can do the same thing with this guy. All of the faceplates are swappable, the heads are swappable, no issues at all. So it leaves me to believe that at least the trend so far is the more modern Figuarts figures are going to be more interchangeable than the old ones used to be. That used to not be a common thing. And just for those of you that are curious, because we have a little bit of nipple action going on with this guy too, is the sculpt the same? No, but it is very close. I think I like this one better. I know I like it better, the older one, but it's pretty darn close. I like this guy's paint job better too. He's got a better skin tone and better shading. This guy doesn't have any shading on the chest. So there are definitely some benefits to both. But definitely they're gonna look okay in the collection. I don't like that the skin tone's noticeably different though. And for some reason somebody asked me to compare him to Tien, maybe just because of the nipples, I don't know. Totally different sculpts, not even close to the same. Tien's not built like Goku. Tien's way chunkier than Goku, so I don't know why we're comparing it, but now I have, so I have fulfilled my obligation. So aesthetically I like it. I do wish the skin was more matte like the Frieza Battle Goku, but it still looks good enough. It's going to be fine, and if you only have this one, you probably won't even think of it, so that is okay. So aesthetically, I'm going to give this guy a 9 out of 10. If his skin was just a little bit nicer, I think we'd be set. It's really, really well done otherwise, though. As far as the accessories go, we have 4 faceplates. We have the neutral one that comes on him in the package, one where he's mostly neutral but looking to the side, one with his teeth showing, and then one where he's yelling. All very nicely done. Love the face paints on these guys. Very, very good. And then we have some hands. We have 2 fist hands, 2 pose hands, 2 grapply type hands, and 2 open hands for whatever you want to do with those. And then we get an all new, super original Kamehameha effect, which I'm lying about because it's the exact same one we got before, though it does look nice in this new kind of pearly light blue. I like it. Looks pretty good. Maybe it's time for a new one. I don't know, I wouldn't mind it. So accessory wise, it's not a ton, but it's definitely enough. Throw in a display stand, I'd give them a full 10. I'm gonna say it's a 9. We got an effect part, faces, hands. That's all we really need. So that is pretty good. Now, as far as the articulation goes, the head, same joint, unfortunately, as you might have guessed, since I said they're interchangeable as before. Little tiny ball hinge, should definitely be a double ball peg. It does function well enough, though. The neck is on a ball peg as well. You won't have too many issues posing the neck other than annoyances dealing with that ball hinge, but you can pose the head, no problem at all. You'll be okay. For the shoulders, we have a butterfly joint in there, technically, but it's so recessed. You see how it's inside the shoulder? This is one of the issues. You don't really get to use it too much. You might as well just have that ball peg that the arm floats on. You do get good range out of the shoulder though, so that is good. I like that. Full rotation. Here's the issue that I had with the shoulder a little bit. This part back here comes out too far. It doesn't do it on this one as much, and it works a little bit better on this guy. Same thing for Tien. They brought it out too far, so you can't bring the shoulder back as much as you want to. You want to bring it back farther to give him the appropriate look. You can't do it because of that plastic. It's not a huge deal, but it is worth noting. You do have your bicep swivel, that all works just fine. Double jointed elbow, that's all standard. Wrists, little tiny ball hinge, again, everything's standard. There's not a whole lot that's groundbreaking on this figure. We have the ball peg and the hinge combo for in here. And you can extend him and make him look goofy. Don't do that, but you do get decent range, not great range, decent range out of that abdominal section. You will end up with some gapping though if you are not careful. I would just leave that hinge down and deal with minimal range, frankly, because as you can see, especially with the ball peg in the lower abdomen section, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna get enough. It'll be fine. This is a floating piece, this is a floating piece, these are floating pieces. They move around, though they're still gonna be in the way quite a bit. For the legs, almost splits. That's pretty darn good. I like it. I know there are still people that don't like this design for the hips. I can't imagine anybody thinking the old design is better though, because it wasn't very good. This is far more functional, really good range, and far less gapping, far less looseness. All around, this is a much better hip design. Very well done. For the knees, no problem at all. I really like this knee. It doesn't have the swivel like the battled version. Doesn't have that, unfortunately, but you don't really need it because you do get the thigh swivel up here and on this side. We still have this kind of knee joint, which isn't the best. I will be fair, it's not the best. It's still goofy looking, but it is still better than the original type of knee joint. And then for the ankles, we're still stuck with the lame double ball peg that doesn't work well. I mean, it works well enough. It's not going to ruin the figure, but it's not really what it should be. They could do a lot better, and the toe joint is still, whatever. So articulation, not the best on this guy. It's not his strongest suit, but it's not bad. I'll give it a 7. It's pretty much your standard fare for this level of Figuarts figure, and that is okay. So final verdicts on this guy. I am very pleased with it as a whole figure. There are a few things I would tweak and change, but I think it did turn out significantly better than it looked like it was going to, and that's very good news for most people. It's not perfect, but none of them have been. It is very hard to turn a very stylized 2D figure or 2D character into a 3D figure, and I think this one nails it as well as anybody should expect. It is fine. Again, could be better, but this is more than reasonably good enough. So I'm going to give this guy an overall verdict of 8 or 9, 8.5, 8.5 out of 10. Again, could be better, but still really, really darn good. I have zero regret buying it, and I don't think anybody else will. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. That helps out a whole bunch. And if you didn't, well, give it a thumbs down. But you still should subscribe, because I have thousands of videos already on the channel, and new ones coming out just about every single day. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.